everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the new Netflix movie, Extraction 2. I enjoyed the first Extraction movie and there's been a lot of hype around this one, so I wanted to check it out. The synopsis is as follows. Back from the brink of death, Commando Tyler Rake embarks on a dangerous mission to save a ruthless gangster's imprisoned family. So without further ado, let's get into the 6 things that make a movie great. 1. The plot. After having survived everything he did in the first movie, Rake finds himself in a recovery center, doing PT and healing to try to get all of his functions back. His teammate Nick and her brother set him up in this nice cabin for retirement, and all is well until a mysterious man shows up. As it turns out, Rake's ex-wife's sister is married to a notorious gangster, who's holding her and her children captive in the same prison that he's serving his time in. Rake decides to come out of retirement in order to go save her and her children, and things escalate from there. What I really enjoy about the Extraction movies is that their plots are absurdly simple, but they're still insanely entertaining. And I find that that's oftentimes the case with action movies, especially older action movies, is that their plots are simple, but they have these nice things that carry the story along, don't overcomplicate it, and make it really enjoyable to watch. There aren't a bunch of subplots, there's not a bunch of subliminal messaging. It's through and through an action movie, and that's true of Extraction 2. This movie also sets itself up for a sequel, and it's already been confirmed with Netflix that they've started it. But you arrive at the end of this film with Extraction 2 being fully wrapped up, like a present on Christmas for you to enjoy. So for me, plot gets a thumbs up. 2 is family friendliness. Extraction 2 is rated R. It has quite a bit of profanity, lots of blood and gore, and almost constant action and violence throughout the entire movie. There are also some very unique ways that Rake uses the environments around him to dispatch his enemies. And while very entertaining, it's definitely not family friendly. So for me, family friendliness gets a thumbs down. 3 is acting and script. The 2 standout performances in this movie for me are from Chris Hemsworth and Golshifteh Farahani. Both of them did an excellent job playing their characters, and it seems like they picked up right where they left off after the first film. All the other actors and actresses did a decent job. No Oscar-worthy performances here, but that's not the main focus of this movie. And the same can be said for the script. The script was fine. There's obviously no deep, inspiring dialogue happening between characters, but all the interactions that people had, whether in combat or in the calm moments that this movie had, seemed natural and well executed, along with good storytelling in this movie as well. So for me, acting and script get a thumbs up. 4 is character development. The main focus of this movie is obviously the action, and at no point during this film do you ever question that. However, it does lend itself to a couple character building moments that, while few and far between, actually were pretty effective. Just like the first movie, there's 1 or 2 interactions that Rake has with other characters that help him discover something in himself that maybe he was pushing down or hadn't identified yet. You also have some good character building moments between Nick and her brother. And whatever kind of relationship is going on between Rake and Nick, you got to see more of the groundwork laid behind that relationship as well. But there's one thing that I wanted to point out that really worked in this movie, and that's the villain. Zurab very quickly establishes himself as a huge threat as the villain of this movie, and he's driven by revenge. He's a solid and believable antagonist, and I really liked how they used him in this movie. So for me, character development gets a thumbs up. 5 is visuals and CGI. The main focus of this movie is to be in and through an action film, and it is some hard-hitting action. The constant combat and intense situations make this movie super fun to watch, and the 21-minute one-take action sequence that they had is awesome. Some of the CGI you can tell is kind of poor CGI, but for the most part, this movie is just full of really entertaining action sequences that you can't turn away from. I loved how tactical some of the sequences were. The combat blocking and martial arts was really entertaining to watch. So this movie effectively did what it set out to do, and it was very visually entertaining. So for me, visuals and CGI get a huge thumbs up. And 6 is rewatchability. Extraction 2 is 2 hours and 2 minutes long, but because of the simple plot and constant action, this movie not only earns its runtime, but it actually feels shorter than it is. It's honestly been a while since I've seen a pure action flick that I've enjoyed, and is reminiscent of some of the action movies that used to get made. Not only is this a movie that you could just throw on in the background for entertainment, but it's definitely one that I would just want to spend time watching again. So for me, rewatchability gets a thumbs up. With all these areas considered, I have to give Extraction 2 an 8 out of 10. This movie had a couple moments where you could tell that there was bad CGI, but that was pretty much my only complaint. Everything else that this movie had to offer lended to the fact that it wanted to be an action flick, and it did very well in that regard. Not only that, but there were some decent character building moments that complemented this movie pretty well, and the combat sequences were extremely satisfying. This movie did exactly what it set out to do, and it was an excellent sequel to the first film. And you know what the best part is? You don't have to pay $15 to go watch this movie. You can watch it from the comfort of your living room and your couch on Netflix. And if you're looking for a great action movie, that's exactly what you should do. Thank you so much for watching. If you've seen Extraction 2, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. As always, I appreciate your love and support, and I'll catch you guys and gals in the next one.